Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dallar and today we're looking at Blackrock Depot. It's probably going to be the only dungeon I will cover out of Warlords of Draenor. I was asked to cover a dungeon and look at the combat rogue DPS within PvE constructs. Otherwise, I don't PvE. The only time I PvE'd was Dragon Soul, and I enjoyed that raid a lot. It was the ending of Kata patch 4.3. I actually had a lot of fun with it, even though Dragon Soul gets a lot of flack for it. The dungeon itself is very much interesting. It's pretty much you and your group boarding a moving train, and eventually you are fighting through this boarding train, killing Blackrock orcs. The first part of the fight, the first boss fight, is you're gonna hit the big guy until he gets his bull rush or some kind of a charge ability. That way he charges across the room, and if he hits the goblin assistant of his, then the goblin takes 100% extra damage and also stops casting his AoE rocket fire. That is definitely something you would want to keep track of as a tank. You would want to make sure to interrupt that as best as possible. The rest of this fight is really DPS race and a healing cooldown race. As a healer, our healer had trouble maintaining all of us throughout this dungeon and this fight, maintaining us to top percentage, so I grabbed for as much defensives as possible while not having to peel back on my damage, talent wise and glyph wise. The second thing that I want to show you guys is an ad pull that's actually kind of complicated. Since healers no longer have any instacast, it's really hard to pick up 3 ads moving up the stairs while they put a bleed effects on your tank, and while you're running to them, they're throwing grenades down at you. We're able to clear out 2 out of 3 of these ads, so on the second pull, we're actually able to kill the last ad and move on to the boss fight. It is interesting to see that Warlords of Draenor is bringing ad pulls as part of the mechanics within the game and making it actual challenge to clear ad pulls. Most of the times healers have to actually drink mana just about after every single ad pull, so it's interesting to see where the game is going, where everybody has to use defensives per ad pulls and per boss fights. This is something that I found Combat Rogue to be really excelling at, is the AoE damage, the amount of cleave damage that goes out for Combat Rogue. I turn on Blade Flurry and I run Death from Above, and as a Combat Rogue I noticed I was able to clean out ads for my groups faster than normal. I played a Hunter, I played a Mage, I played a Shadow Priest, and I played a Disc Priest Healer on a Warlords of Draenor Dungeons PvE content, and I found out that Combat Rogues, Assassination Rogues, and even Subtlety Rogues are probably some of the best AoE clear specs or clear classes within dungeon constraints. It's interesting to see how everybody has a specific role, and it's interesting to see how rogues are about clearing out AoE targets rather than hitting single targets for burst amount of damage. Second boss fight is pretty simple. You run into the room and you fight the boss for a little bit up until he leaps all the way over to his turret. From there on, the boss will start firing his turret for the rest of this fight up until you destroy the turret. We have turrets of our own that we can use on the left and the right side, and we use them to clear out ads, but fortunately, being a combat rogue, we didn't need that. The whole point of this fight is to clear ads that the tank will pick up in the middle of the room. The ads will spawn from the left and right side of the train cart. The sides have been opened thanks to the boss, and what we are doing is trying to clear out the ads as fast and as quickly as possible before they outnumber us. The boss itself, in the cannon form, does not deal too much damage, and after we destroy the cannon, the boss comes out on his own. The boss himself, by his own self, doesn't deal that much damage, so as soon as you get to this point, all it is about is just clearing off the rest of the ads, and if you do find any ads that do still have bombs on them that you would normally use to clean out the turret, you can use those same bombs on the boss in order to kill him way quicker. You can see this mechanic later be used down when challenge modes are available, so you would want as many bombs on the floor as possible. So once the boss jumps out of there, he's way more susceptible to bombs, and in such way you'll be able to kill him way quicker. Otherwise, this fight wasn't that bad. I feel like we had an easier time with it because I was playing a combat rogue, so the ad clearing really wasn't all that much of a problem for us. The last boss fight is an interesting one. The boss has a couple mechanics. One of them is he'll throw spears in random direction, usually aimed at DPS players. So you would want to watch out for a cast. Once he starts casting, that's the direction that he's going to throw it at. Another thing he does is throws down a trap on an DPS or a healer. If you are trapped, you will be rooted. It doesn't really stop you from anything else. It's not like a real hunter trap. It will stop you from being able to move. That's about it. So if you have any ways to get out of root effects, that is definitely recommended for this fight. It's a magic effect, so you can break it through dispels and such. Another thing it does, it just deals a little bit of damage. The rest of the fight is just a dragon mount of the boss that will fly by and will shock some of the platforms. If you think of the platforms in threes, the middle part being one half, the wooden part being the other, and then the other wooden part being the other. And if you think of the whole train fight as back, middle, and front, then there's technically 9 sections to stand on. Just stand on for the far side section every time when the dragon hasn't shocked the area. So then 2 out of those 3 sections will be shocked, but then there will still be 1. Usually it's easier to get over to there, so you just go from back and forth to the platform, avoiding the electrocuted areas. Otherwise, I found this raid a lot of fun. Dungeon a lot of fun, and it's a train ride based in Draenor. Looks all western. I thought it was just a very interesting concept. The mechanics were, again, interesting for this fight and very much satisfying. This is Dalaran showcasing in Blackrock Depot. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you.